Hey there. Thank you for joining UnSCRIPted. My name is Angela Kashuba, and I am Dean of the UNC Eshelman School of Pharmacy. We have an amazing community in the school with a shared goal of solving the world's most pressing healthcare challenges. And I'm excited for you to hear stories from our faculty, our students, our staff, our alums, and our partners. And today, with me in the Dean's office, I have Cliff and Linda Butler. Welcome to you both.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So I know that there are two things that run in your blood, and that is pharmacy and Tar Heels. So let's start with pharmacy. Can you talk about your upbringing? You grew up in a small town in North Carolina, and your parents had pharmacies right across the street from each other. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, we grew up in Dunn, North Carolina, a very small town in eastern North Carolina. And we moved there in January of 1953 from Wilmington because Daddy had a chance to buy a drugstore there. But both my mother and Daddy were pharmacists, graduates of this school.
Wow.
My mother graduated in 1938 from this school, back when women couldn't even live on campus. You had to be a day student to be a student at Carolina back then if you were a woman.
That's amazing.
And then later, after World War II, Mother got Daddy to come back and go to pharmacy school. And when they found out she was here, they got Mother to come back and teach.
Wow.
So she was a TA here and taught my daddy.
Wow.
So we have a real pharmacy family involved here. And Daddy was president of the North Carolina Pharmaceutical Association one year. He was real involved in that. And Mother was always involved in the women's auxiliary things. And we've just had a real history with this school.
Yes, that's terrific. And Cliff, your family?
Well, luckily we lived in a very flat town. So when I was like 12, I started delivering things for the drugstore on my bicycle. And my daddy actually died when he was 13, when I was 13.
Oh,
he was 49. But I remember working with him back in the pharmacy, so I know I was in there a lot, and he would have me do all sorts of little things. Linda's parents right across the street. She was a very attractive 8-year-old when she moved to town. And but I would go over there a lot and talk to her mother more than her daddy. He was usually busy. And I was trying to win their hearts first. Her daddy actually built a nice modern new pharmacy in the first shopping center.
Dunn's first shopping center, Daddy. Still in the store out there.
Okay.
Yeah, it turned into a super drugstore, and he ended up selling it to Bank's Car for car drugs when he retired. Yeah.
Wow. Can you talk a little bit about what pharmacy school was like when you were here?
Yes, it was so different. We had 5 labs a week, every afternoon. I never got to go see a Beat Duke parade because I was in lab every day. We had Saturday classes.
Wow.
Including, I had a medicinal chemistry or physical chemistry lab, 3-hour lab on Saturday mornings during football season. And I could look out the window and see everybody going to the games. And this was back when the games weren't on television. And it was a long time ago. They were always at 1 o'clock.
Is that right?
Always at 1 o'clock. And so I'm in lab here from 9 to 12.
I would come by and pick her up.
I'm getting a late start.
Along the way.
But that was also back when everybody dressed up to go to the football games.
Dressed up how?
The guys wore ties.
Oh my goodness.
We wore high heels.
Oh my goodness.
And our Sunday dresses.
Wow.
It was so different.
But they also couldn't wear pants on campus. Women had to wear skirts or dresses.
Oh, is that right?
My freshman year, it was like that. The women had to wear skirts or dresses, winter or not. And I can't remember how long that lasted, but when my freshman year, we had all the rules. The girls had all the rules. The guys had no rules. None. None. We had to be in at 11 o'clock on a weeknight. We had to be in at 12 on weekends. To go to Durham, you had to have parental permission because it was out of the city limits.
Oh, is that right?
I mean, it was so different.
Wow.
This was back when, and it wasn't just here, it was all the universities. Women couldn't go to general college as freshmen.
Mm.
They all transferred in their junior year.
Oh,
That's why all these women's colleges proliferated around here,
yes.
because they would go 2 years to a junior college and then transfer in
Yes.
junior year.
Interesting.
But so my freshman year, and you know what the ratio of men to women is now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my freshman year, men to women was 8-1.
Oh, see, okay. Well, that must have been fun.
Yeah. That was good. So it was very different.
Yeah.
A lot of things. But you know, the opportunities for pharmacists back then, we didn't have seminars. It was a lot of rote memory stuff,
Yes.
and also opportunities. When you graduated, you were either going to go to retail, to a hospital,
Mm-hmm.
or industry.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's
Yeah.
so many more options.
Right. Yeah, we have a page with different careers that PharmDs can do, and it's 100 different careers for a PharmD
That's
degree.
amazing.
So
It's
it's
wonderful.
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You have a favorite memory from being in pharmacy school together?
Well, it really didn't have anything to do with pharmacy, I guess, but German's weekend that used to have like unbelievable talent for a weekend. It was-
National talent.
yeah, national. I mean,
Oh,
like
okay.
the Four Tops and the Temptations and Little Anthony and the
Wow.
Imperials would all be here on a weekend.
Wow.
Satchmo, those were fabulous.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but we had a lot of good times here. I tell you, because they don't do these anymore. I'll never forget our trips, our senior trips. We went to Lily. Everybody went to Lily, Eli Lilly, and I think I went.
Park Davis,
Park Davis was the other one, and then he went to Lily and
Abbott.
Wow.
So it was those were outstanding experiences, and they treated you like you were somebody really important.
Mm-hmm.
They put you up, they entertained you, and gave you these wonderful dinners.
Yeah.
It was really very
And it
memorable
was a bonding experience
for the class.
for the class.
Yes, for
Yeah,
certain.
it was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about one of your most memorable experiences as a pharmacist.
Well, I had lots of famous people come in my store because I got to know as much about my patients as I could, and one of them happened to be the president of Duke Hospital, and he and I got to be really good friends. And so every time they got a movie star or a famous singer, Elvis actually came, but he stayed in a private railway car outside the hospital. But and this was the famous people to us. I have a list of them, and my niece looked at that list and wanted to know who those people were. They weren't famous to her, but Perry Como was one of my favorites.
Wow.
And he got to be a really good friend. And one time we were at a Duke football game, and Dr. Anley and Perry Como were walking by our tailgate, and Linda's daddy, a big fan of Perry Como, looked and said, "Look, there's Perry Como, there's Perry Como." And right after he said that, Perry Como looked over there and he said, "Hey, Cliff." But I wish my nephews and nieces knew who these famous people are.
Yeah. So nobody has been more involved over the years in our school, I think, than you both. From the Pharmacy Alumni Association to all of the boards that you sit on, you are an integral part of our school. So what keeps you motivated to stay connected with us?
Because I stay impressed at what goes on here,
Mm.
and I wish everybody could hear all the time. I know the emails go out to inform people. I don't know how much they read them.
Mm.
I hope they do.
Mhm.
But it's mind-boggling what you accomplish here,
Yes.
and I'm very proud to be a part of it.
Well, thank you.
And I was on the admissions committee for several years.
And I was too. I did
Yeah,
that.
and I
Some.
was amazed at the talent that you bring in.
Mhm.
just incredibly smart people.
We do have amazing students for certain.
And I love to brag on you. I brag on you every chance I get.
Thank you. You were both preceptors of our students
Mhm.
for a long
That was
time.
one of the most fun things we did.
Yeah.
Talk
That was
about
great.
that a
We
little
just-
bit.
I wish I'd kept a diary of all the
Mm.
students. Since we were both
I
so
know.
close to the school, we got lots of
Yes.
students. And which I've told you before how I have pictures of my favorite customers that when they would die, I would get a picture and I have them framed and put up. I wish I'd done that with a bunch of my students over
Oh.
Yeah.
the years.
Yeah. I wish I had too. But one thing that came out of that for me, because I had a lot of students that worked part-time too,
Mhm.
as well as students doing rotations through there. They all needed money. You know, they were always in debt. And so I was trying to think, what can I do? What can I do? And having this association with all the students, knowing they were always needing money, scholarship.
Mm.
So we established a scholarship in Mother and Daddy's name here at the Pharmeses school.
And they love that.
And they were still alive when we did it.
Yeah.
So they they knew it would be here forever.
Mhm.
And I'm so grateful that that idea came to me. But it's
Yeah.
because of the students that came through my drugstore.
Right. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's real lasting impact
Mhm,
for students year after year after year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, they both went here.
Yes.
So it was just real important
It's a good
to have
connection.
that. Mhm.
Yeah. So behind me is the pharmacy RAM, Pharmeses, which is brought to us by you both. So Linda, can you tell us the story of Pharmeses?
Love to. A friend of mine, he's a new friend. I've just gotten to know him since his Terrence Brayboy, and he's a graduate of Carolina undergrad and med school. And he goes to Zimbabwe every other month. And his first mission trip there was to take clothes and shoes to the children. And there was this young girl lying on the ground, and who was so sick all her life she couldn't even get in line to get a free pair of shoes. So he took a pair of shoes over to her, and he said, if you could have seen the look on her face, it was worth anything I had ever done. Her name was Amina. So this project is called Amina's Gifts. And he has established 5 schools in Zimbabwe.
Wow.
And along with Pharmeses here, he saw these artists making local animals, giraffes, tigers, leopards, and they were all made out of little bitty beads, like Pharmeses is, little bitty beads. And he said, well, my university back home has a mascot of a ram. If I get you a picture of it, could you make a ram? They said, sure. So that's what this came about. And the really cool thing about it is that everyone he sells, he just keeps not a penny of it. It all goes back to educate and clothe the children in Zimbabwe.
That's an amazing story.
Really. And he goes every other month, which is amazing.
Well, I'd like to thank you both for speaking with me today. This has been a lot of fun for me.
Well, it's been fun, Buzz. Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. And thank you all so much for watching. We love sharing stories of those who make the UNC Eshelman School of Pharmacy truly excellent. And I hope you will join us for the next episode of UnSCRIPted, conversations with people who are advancing medicine for life. Thanks so much.